Hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That is Daniel. Welcome to the studio. Emlyn.
Hey.
Hi.
Also known as Maggie Peak.
This is true.
That's weird. Is it weird when you hear your real name now, or what?
I have like a mental separation between who is Maggie and who is Emlyn for me. Like when somebody calls me Emlyn, I'm like, oh, I'm working mode, or I'm like, oh, I'm confident. I have like different emotions associated with it. And Maggie feels a little more like, oh, you know me personally. So I have my walls down a bit more.
Why did you choose to create a name or a moniker or whatever?
Well, it's my middle name, so it's not that far off. Yeah. But it's, I don't know. I think at the time there was just a lot of like, I was trying to make some choices about who I wanted to be, what kind of music I wanted to put out there. There was a lot of Maggies making music at the time, Maggie Rogers, Maggie Lindemann. And I was just like, what could set me apart and feels like this new kind of resurgence of myself and like evolution of myself. And I felt like my middle name, at least it was still me, that like if someone called my name I would hear them and like react to it, but that it was just a different version of me.
So what do you carry with you from Maggie to Emlyn?
A softness, I think, a more vulnerable side. I feel like when I meet like fans at shows, like actually speak to them, I'm more Maggie than I am Emlyn, because I think there's like a toughness to me being Emlyn on stage that I want to not feel intimidating to people that I'm meeting that are fans, because they're usually sharing things with me. And so I think I take some of that softness and vulnerability into situations where I just maybe don't need to have this kind of tough exterior.
The hair means something too, because you haven't changed. It's very iconic color.
Thank you.
How do you even land on, what is it, a turquoise or a seafoam green?
Yeah, it's a blue. I don't know. What shade? It's blue. It's some shade of blue.
It's giving turquoise. It looks great.
Okay. All right. I'll take turquoise. Yeah, I actually had blonde hair when I was very first starting to make music. And I felt like it was during a time where I was trying to fit what I felt like the like female stereotypes of like a hot pop star were. So I was like blonde and I'm going to try and be as skinny as possible and lose all this weight. And it just didn't feel authentic. And I eventually moved to pink, which was sort of like I feel like it was like my gateway to blue of like, okay, I'm trying something a little different here. It's a vibrant color, but it still wasn't quite 100% me. And then I feel like when I landed on blue, I was like, all right, I finally come into myself of like this confident of like, fuck yeah, I have blue hair. It's not blonde. I am who I am. And this is how I show up.
Has society redefined what a pop star is?
Yes, definitely.
To what?
Oh, I think that women have a lot more flexibility in terms of age, in terms of size, everything. I had that conversation with Ava Max when I was opening for her. One of the first things we talked about was like, she kind of brought it up actually, was just like, you know, if people are telling you anything about your age and, you know, you're too old to do this or whatever, just know like, I hit my prime in like Sweet But Psycho when I was 26, and that's when I am now. And I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, just don't stress about it. Don't let anybody tell you differently. And now we have amazing artists like SZA and Lizzo who are in their 30s and are like just hitting their stride too. That it's just like opened up a ton in terms of age, and not to mention just like different body types. And I feel like there are women that just look a little more like normal bodied, and they're accepting themselves and coming out confidently in that space.
Is it what is it that's changing? Is it people wanting to receive music from someone who fully understands them? Is it people wanting to receive music not from something that looks like a manufactured?
Yeah, I think it's more approachable. I also think that's why TikTok is working at the moment in time too, because it's not all this polished content that's resonating with people, and it kind of had its emergence during COVID when everyone was in bed, kind of probably feeling like their worst self. At least I was personally, and I just feel like it's there's this new kind of evolution of content consumption and creation and like excitement around people that are just themselves, and that people, when they scroll on TikTok or when they see things on screen, they want to be able to see, I think, a little bit of themselves in somebody. I think it makes us feel like, us as consumers and us as creators, feel like we're all a little more approachable to each other.
But you say COVID is the worst time for you, but ultimately isn't that when you get on TikTok that pushes you to like be an artist, not just a songwriter?
Yeah, I mean, COVID was really complicated for a lot of different people. I think some people were really in deep, dark depressions, and some people were feeling okay. And obviously a lot of people died too. So it's like, I don't want to sit here and be like, everything was great during COVID, because it was awful in society. But for me personally, it was a time that I was like, I'm sitting around, I don't know what to do with myself. My mental health is suffering. What can I do with this moment in time and change it and make it into something that's positive for me? And that was like shifting from being just a songwriter into like making stuff for my own artistry, which was like exciting. And I was doing a lot of it on Zoom. I actually drove from LA to Nashville because I was so scared to fly at the time to work with one of my producers. And I camped out there for like a week, and we followed COVID restrictions and made music. And for me, it was like really therapeutic to be sharing parts of myself in what felt like a safe space because things had slowed down. And then, yeah, I did post a video that went viral for the first time during that time. And I was like, wow, things are kind of shifting for me. And it was a cool time, coupled with the fact that it was a very complicated time for a lot of people.
Why did you go to TikTok?
My manager kept bugging me about it. Because I feel like it was a time where like a lot of people's teams were like, you got to get on TikTok. You got to get on TikTok. And I had some reservations about it too. Like, I think what made it easier for me was I was bored. So I started just scrolling and like learning it as a consumer first, and just like being excited about like, oh, that's funny, or oh, I want to learn to make that dish or whatever. And then I just tried a few different things. I started out making content that was more about like my body and body image, which was really interesting. And that got a little bit of excitement. And then I was like, all right, you know what? I'm getting used to this. And I just tried putting my music on there. And I guess I got the right tip, because now it's like the place to be making music and sharing it.
Whose For You pages are you on?
Am I on?
Yeah, like what type of person is seeing your content?
I actually just checked my TikTok analytics yesterday, and it's like 91% women, like 9% men. And there was a point where it was like 96% women too. I think it evened out a little bit when I did tour, because it was a larger LGBT community attending some of the shows. But yeah, I think women who have been through breakups maybe, or have been scorned in some way or another, or women identifying people.
Who are those 9% men?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out. I got a DM from somebody the other day when I posted that they were like, hey, I'm a man and I'm a proud supporter. And I was like, hell yeah. I even went on my Discord and was like, is anybody here who's a dude? Like, are you straight dudes? Like, are you like, how do you identify? I'm just trying to get a feel for it. They're like 3 out of 900. So I don't know. I think it's mostly gay men. I could be wrong. I don't want to like put a label on it. I've just only done a little bit of digging into the analytics.
Is that reassuring to you? Is that frightening? How do you receive that data?
Oh, I think it's great. I love having. I'm a girl's girl. I love women.
Music is for everyone, though.
Yeah, I mean, music's totally for everyone, but I also think there's a space that should be taken that is specifically for women. Like, we want to have songs that we can rage about and get our shit out into the world. And I mean, I've noticed it in my shows in particular, like the whole crowd is women, and it's just really cool to see like everybody come with whatever baggage they're holding on to and have it as a safe space to kind of rage out and act as women maybe want to, but maybe don't have the space to in society at times.
That is, I mean, it is a safe space, right?
Yeah.
It's a space that exists. I mean, artists create that space time and time again, but
I also don't feel like I'm cutting out straight men by any means. Like, my 2 producers who I work with all the time are straight men, and like I feel like there's this whole thing of like, if you're the guy who feels the need to say, no, well, it's not all men, you might be that guy that I'm talking about. Like, I think it's the ones that are a little bit more accepting of the fact that there's disparity in society and unfairness in the way that women are treated. And we are an oppressed group still, for a number of reasons. I mean, just look at, Roe v. Wade being overturned and many of the things that are happening. And I think it's just like our time right now. And I'm making music that I think is reaching the people that are wanting to feel that way. But I also, in this next album, have been trying to make an asserted effort to branch out and talk about things that are maybe more vulnerable, a little bit more nuanced, and open up to everybody.
Which, by the way, you can listen to. That's How You Make a Villain. All of Emlyn's music waiting for you on Amazon Music. Why 2 albums back to back? Like 2022 gives us your debut album, and then you're giving us a second album in 2023.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been that long. It's crazy. I think it's because I post snippets of things and stuff on TikTok. I don't know. I'm ready. I have more to say. I feel like you have to keep the ball rolling too. You don't want to get stuck and feel like, if you have something to say, then roll with it. If you don't have something to say, then wait and pause and live a little bit of life. And right now I have more to say.
No other strategy? I mean, you are an independent artist, right? So
yes, I am.
You're doing it on your own and you're setting your own course.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just making decisions as I go. I don't claim to know everything about everything by any means, but one thing we have been doing, like for social media, since that's the space that I feel like I've connected with fans the most, is I try to leak just like lots of songs all the time and just sort of see what piques people's interest. Particularly, I try to pick songs that I know are going to be on the album, but sometimes I'm a little bit like, I don't know, do you guys like this? And they've turned me onto songs that I've kind of been like meh about at times. So the strategy, I guess, is just to see... it's really hard to release albums in this day and age because like many of the songs just get buried. So I want the opportunity for everybody to hear little bits and pieces and teases of what I'm going to be putting out so that they can run to their favorite song that's on the album, even if it's not necessarily the single.
That's How You Make a Villain. When it's finally time to put years of therapy into a song.
Sorry, 1 second. Wait, say that again?
You said via caption, when it's finally time to put years of therapy into a song.
Yeah.
This is your story, correct?
Yes, definitely.
Do you see yourself as a villain?
No, I think I'm reclaiming the word villain. I mean, I think that I come across as like an edgy, badass bitch. And I feel like villain has a lot of different connotations. I think I'm reclaiming it as something that's more... you know the saying villain and origin story, like from movies and stuff? I feel like it's usually about somebody of actual villain who was treated poorly in their life and they evolved into the person that they are, which maybe unfortunately in their case is like, taking over the world in a bad way. But I feel like it has made me a tougher person, a more resilient person, the things that I've been through. And so I'm reclaiming it more as like a positive thing.
Well,
but,
yeah. This whole thing for you starts... You're a people pleaser at the age of 14 and then somebody breaks your heart, right? And you become the antagonist.
Yes, more or less. I mean, there's a little more in between it, but I feel like I was not, like in high school, I was singing songs from my school and getting just like mean comments about it. I was never accepted for who I was in any capacity growing up. I didn't feel that way at least. And I think it ultimately made me tougher and made me be like, I love this, so I'm going to do it regardless. And then I've had... through the music industry, I felt overlooked and undervalued, which is another lyric in the song. And by boys, I felt that way. And I just feel like a lot of times fans ask me like where I find my confidence from. And I think it's from having shitty things happen to me and overcoming them.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. There's truth.
Yes. ...
Yeah. This is interesting because, okay, you used to think that your partner was perfect. Then you realize that they're not fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And that you can really just do it better.
Yeah, it's about self-pleasure. I mean, we'll just call it like it is.
What brings you to that? Where you realize that like no one's going to be as good as you?
Well, I'm not saying no one's going to be as good as me. It's more of like I felt maybe at the time like I needed to be with them for a form of connection. And then after we broke up, I was like, oh my God, this guy was not good in bed at all, actually. And I could just do it better myself. But doesn't mean somebody one day isn't going to help me, get me there. But,
But is a quality relationship solely based on physical intimacy?
Not solely, but I think it's an important part for me. To each their own.
Amen.
But also it was kind of like a jab at him for sure. Like, aw, you think you're so cool, but he's actually a douchebag. I can do it myself. You're fine.
Does he know the songs about him?
I don't know. I don't care.
I care. I want to know what he thinks about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I write songs about people, I definitely make sure I'm done with them for sure. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Have you written A song about somebody you're actually actively in love with?
I was just thinking about this the other day. I have a really tough time writing about the now, like in the moment. I'm better at writing about something when it's finished and like reflecting on my feelings about it. Yeah. So I don't really write about like ongoing things. To see what happens.
Why do you think straight men hate you?
Do you hate me or
No.
Dan?
Well, I'm not straight.
Well, that's why I turned to Dan.
I don't hate you.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Loosely straight. What the hell does that mean?
Have you heard something that I don't?
About Dan?
No, about straight men hating me.
Oh, no, I just see TikTok.
I just think you come across as a man hater sometimes.
I know, I have eyes and a finger.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I do hate men, but sometimes I love them. I mean, I like men. I like men and women. And I definitely wouldn't be able to tolerate dating men if I really hated them. Do they make me want to pull my hair out of my fucking head sometimes? Absolutely. But, that's just the way it's got to be.
That's why I love them.
Because they're
they
pulling
drive
on your
me
hair?
fucking crazy.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I love it.
Well,
love
hey,
it.
it's great music content. I guess I love them too for that reason.
That's good. Me, it just creates, internal problems that Dan then has a problem with.
No comment.
Have you listened to Emlyn's music, Daniel?
Of course I have.
Oh,
But
thanks.
I did when you said overlooked and undervalued, you wrote that in the caption too.
Yeah.
You said that could be about men, but is that also the music industry?
Yes, that's actually definitely a direct dig. There's a direct dig in the chorus too that's I'm not on your payroll, but I'm making a killing. Just so you know, that's how you make a villain. Also, like, Soul My Life, that's what I call a heist. All these little jabs about the not on your payroll, but making a killing part is about being an independent artist and having been offered a deal and consciously turned it down because I felt undervalued. And yeah, I actually feel like that's one thing that I've thought about but not really talked about that much, which is that as an independent artist, and I can just think of all these women out there that have been offered deals that I just bet that they've been way undervalued, but I've been fortunate enough to see, like, on my side of things, my own value, that it bums me out to see some things come through because I'm just like, man, I hope young women in particular are empowered by people around them to know what their worth is, because I think there's this whole thing of like, oh my gosh, a label wants to sign me, like I'm finally validated and I'm important and I'm an artist. And my decision not to sign the deal was based off of the fact that I decided that validation wasn't worth trading what I felt like my value was at the time.
So how do you operate today?
In what way?
How do you run a business?
I mean, it's tough. I have an amazing manager and I have an amazing distribution team. And I've chosen people like on my team in general, glam and creative direction and everything, intentionally based off of either them wanting to be part of the project and invest in it, or just passionate people that love what they do. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm winging it. I've never seen myself as a businesswoman. I guess I am now all of a sudden. But I try to just make choices about who is excited about the projects. And I feel like that's usually what ends up working.
So what is genuinely the strategy behind dropping so much music? Because you've put out 18 songs for this one album, kind of.
Wait, I haven't put out 18
No,
songs.
you've teased 18.
Oh. Yeah, well, I'm not going to put out all 18 of them.
So how many will make it on the album out of the 18?
I want 15, I think. I think 14 or 15 is what I'm aiming for. I'm probably going to tease more, too. I just want to see what people react to. I'm curious. On some level, it's like a little bit of research just to know. I mean, I think that's a little bit of like a technical term, but a little bit of just like curiosity of like what people are feeling right now in society, in life. When we're scrolling on TikTok, what are we resonating with? It's not the same thing that it was a year and a half ago. And, labels do tests with people, and I don't have the testing team, whatever it is. And I just feel like this is an opportunity for me to just see what people react to. And even if the song doesn't go the most viral, but I get a bunch of messages about how it affected them, like that's important to me too. It's not just numbers. It's, how people feel when they hear the songs. So,
are you making these records for you or for other people?
I don't know. I think I started out making records for me and being like, please God, I hope somebody feels affected by this. But I would think I'd be lying to say that TikTok and Instagram doesn't influence me a little bit because I want to know what people want to hear too. But I try not to let it interfere too much with my process. Yeah.
Ruin your life.
Yeah.
Is that about you ruining somebody else's life or them ruining their own life?
That's a song that I've teased that I'm not going to put out.
Why? Why didn't it make the cut?
Because I accidentally copied a melody I wasn't supposed to. Yeah.
How do you accidentally copy that?
I just think sometimes melodies are like stored in our brains as songwriters and we don't even realize it. And we just like are like, we'll start singing something in the studio and we're like, oh my God, this sounds really good. And then we're like, wait, that sounds like something. And then somebody else in the room is like, no, it doesn't sound like anything. And then usually somebody gives up on the search and then it lands in like my team's ears and they're like, that is something. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. So I can't put that out.
Is that how Batter came to be? Or did you know that you were trying to
No, that was
sample
intentional. That was definitely intentional. Batter was like me trying to think of a cool interpolation and just actually that wasn't even going to be my song. Originally I wrote that with my producer Alex Farino and Scott Nicholson, and we were like, let's just like try things. Let's just like see what we come up with, and we'll pitch it to somebody. It just doesn't feel right, and so we wrote it like I think like a year and a half, 2 years ago or something like that, and it sort of just sat in my phone for a little while, and then it just raised its hand again, and I was like, I think this song's really cool, and then like I said, I teased it on TikTok, and people reacted to it. But that's a perfect example of like I'm not even sure I would have done anything with it had I not teased it, seen how people reacted to it, and then then I put it out.
By the way, you can listen to all of Emlyn's music. It's waiting for you on Amazon Music. The whole album, the whole catalog, waiting for your ears. What are you thinking, Daniel?
I just want to know, and these people are undervaluing, what's that word?
Undervaluing, yeah.
What are they offering you that's so bad in these contracts or these offers that's making you say, no, I'd rather be independent?
Well, sometimes it's offering me less than what I already make, just like point blank. And I feel like that's usually like due to a lack of research maybe. And also I've just really come to appreciate how much creative control I have over everything. And I understand when you sign a deal, you do relinquish some of that control, and that's completely part of the deal. But I also personally have to be able to come to that, to accept that. And if I sign with a company that doesn't trust what I've already built and what I'm excited about, then I don't know if they totally get me to begin with. But I'm still figuring it all out. That was the pretty clear answer, though. It's just like, if it's, you want to ideally sign a deal that is a company anticipating what you could be making at some point, not less than what you already are.
Yeah. They're not understanding your value, your potential, and they're never going to do anything to like push you.
Yeah.
Or blow you up.
Yeah.
What do these people see you as? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if they're telling you, like, with creative control, do they see you as something that you don't see yourself as? Or like a different type of artist making a different type of music or something?
No, I think that I don't want to loop all labels into the same category. I think that there's a hype thing going on right now where like if a TikTok video goes super viral, there is obviously money in that because it ends up being monetized from one platform to another. I totally understand that. And I've had some TikTok moments and stuff, but I've tried to be really conscientious about building with my catalog as opposed to just having like one song go viral. Like I'm kind of grateful that I haven't had one go super crazy because I feel like I've been building like a long-term fan base of people that are excited about and engaged in individual songs, which ends up making them want to discover me as an artist as a whole. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, we've interviewed some people that went viral and you don't hear about them anymore.
Rip.
It happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you don't want to
it
become
does.
one of those people.
No, I do think we're in this.
No, well, that also can sometimes, in their defense, I think that can sometimes be a result of them having gone viral by accident because a song is really good, but they haven't really put the time and energy into figuring out who they are entirely. And so when the time comes where they're like, okay, I got to put out another song, like they're like, fuck, what do I write about? I just wrote this song and I really loved it. But sometimes that's why I think labels that was signed, developing acts early on, it did work at the time because you have that one song, but a label would go, okay, we got to figure out the rest of them now too, though, before we release this because we don't want you to put this one song out and then not have anything to back it up and not know who you are.
That's not good.
That would be bad.
There's so many examples coming to mind.
Yeah.
You want to start naming?
No, stop. I don't want to get in trouble.
Rit Momney.
Oh shit! What he put the Corleone
Girl,
Ray
put your
remix.
records on.
Yeah, he did that remix.
Yeah. Maybe next time. Oh.
I don't know who that is.
Exactly.
I bet that they're really good, though. Truly.
Will I get in trouble for telling this story?
I don't know what the story is.
Can I tell the story about how I first met Emlyn?
Oh, yeah. Tell it.
Dan
yeah,
was there.
That's fine.
Do you remember it, though?
No.
Okay. So.
Oh, wait. Yes, I do remember this.
It was many years ago. And Liz Gillies was coming on our show.
Yeah. I might have to correct your storytelling, but go ahead.
You probably will.
This is this is not a story outside of anything that more than what I was told.
Okay.
Liz Gillies was coming on our show.
Yeah.
This is maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 11 years ago. And this guy comes to our studio and he says, hey.
No.
There's
Sorry.
a couple.
You gotta back up.
No. He says, hey, there are a couple girls waiting outside and they're crying.
No. You have to back up. I was a super massive Zach Sang fan. I was a super massive fan of your show. Still am. And you and I DM'd on Twitter and I was like, I'm here for a songwriting workshop. I'm looking for things to do. And you were like, oh my gosh, come by the studio. We'd love to have
Show
you.
me the DMs.
I will. I'll go back on my Twitter DMs.
Show them to me.
We're going to pull them up after
Right now.
this.
Show me receipts.
And I showed up. How would I have gotten the address of where you are unless you gave it to me?
That is true.
Exactly.
No, well, I think a flip side. I want to see DMs.
I don't have my phone, but I'll grab it for you. Do you want to see it now?
Yeah.
I'd have to really scroll.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't have my phone.
I mean, we could produce them later and then we could put them on screen.
But also,
if they
we
actually
probably
exist.
exchanged a lot of DMs over time, so it might take time.
But if you don't see them on screen in this interview, then they don't fucking exist.
Yes, they
and
do.
My story is true. Is it the same moment that we're thinking of, though?
Yes. Yeah, in New York, right?
In the summer?
Yeah. And I brought like a couple friends with me from my workshop.
I need to see receipts.
Yeah. You're going to backtrack yourself real fast.
Grab the phone.
And then what happened
remember-
was your security guard or whoever it was.
They were really mean.
Well, yeah, no, they were super mean. They're like, sorry, you can't come in. And we were like so excited because I was a fan. I was like, oh my gosh, I brought my friends. Like they were so excited to meet you and stuff. And then
But you did end up coming in.
I did because I guess the guy came back and was like, they're crying. And you must have been like, oh, well, if they're crying, we got to be nice to them.
If they're fucking crying, you gotta let them in.
Wow, what evolution I have made from that point in my life. But yeah, I came in and I met Liz Gillies. We had the funniest photo.
Do you remember it now? Liz was wearing a blue outfit with blonde hair.
It's going to be really funny if she remembers this in any context, and here I am.
Oh, there's the phone.
Thank you.
The evidence is being handed
All right.
over. Who's going to be correct?
See, it actually might be fine because you and I don't DM on Twitter that much.
It's called X, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Elon.
It's a different platform.
God forbid I upset Elon Musk. Okay. Zach Sang.
I remember that day.
No results for Zach Sang. Do you not have a Twitter anymore?
No, I did. Well, I thought I did.
No, you do. Okay. Messages. Okay.
Uh-oh. Are you nervous, Zach?
No, I mean, I don't remember. It could be 100% correct.
Hold on.
I would have done that. Been like, yeah, you can come by.
That's exactly what you would have done.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Aw. I was such a fan. Sorry, I'm just finding things of like, I'm applying for a summer internship. Do you have any advice?
I love meeting people later in life because, I've been doing this since the dawn of fucking time. And like, I'll meet people and then I'll follow them and look at the DMs and they'd reached out to me 15 years ago and been like, hey, I really want to be on the radio one day. And now they're on the radio.
I can't find it.
No, we need this. Do not let Zach be right.
Let me find it later. I swear I'll do the research, but I can't find it right now in this exact moment. I'm gonna check Instagram as well, just in case.
You take your time on it. We'll be here.
Okay.
Going nowhere for at least another 16 years.
Is this the Zach Contemporary funeral let you down?
No.
Basically is.
He's asking me if in my song Temporary Funeral, where I name dropped an ex of mine named Zach, if you're the one that let me down. But Zach Sang and I did not have a romantic relationship.
No.
So no.
There's still time.
I'm good.
Okay. You need to shut
Love
the fuck
ya.
up.
Who are all these men? Nick would
He
lead
said,
me
"Who
on.
are all these men?"
Who are they? Nick would lead me on.
You sound like my grandma. Who are all these men that
I
you've
am
been
your
dating?
grandma. All right, so Nick led you on.
Yeah.
Jasper fucked around.
Yes.
Noah, he broke your heart, huh?
Uh-huh.
And Zach let you down.
Yes.
Mm.
Your question was, who are they? They're my ex-boyfriends. Or my ex-situationships.
And what made you want to name drop them?
Why not? You know? No, really, why not? And please do respond. What would you say to that?
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can be honest, be open.
Yeah, exactly.
Ari did it. A lot of artists do it. Why not?
Taylor Swift's done it. She did it to start out with.
Oh, dear John.
Yeah, exactly.
Steven.
Exactly. Drew looks at me, was in Teardrops on my guitar. I take after old, great, powerful one, Taylor Swift.
Amen.
I said, fuck it, pretty much is the answer.
And do you know if they've heard it or has anyone reached out after the song comes out?
Yeah. People have reached out.
Saying what? Were we even in a relationship?
What?
No, nothing. They're like, oh, I didn't know you were in a relationship.
No. Well, okay, first of all, I picked some pretty generic names, obviously, with the exception of Jasper. Nick, Zach, I've dated a few Zachs, actually, shockingly.
Sounds like a bunch of straight white men.
Yeah, exactly, which they were. Have they reached out? Yes. And then what was the other question? What did they say?
Yeah.
Oh, one of them said that one of them was really pissed. But this is the one that cheated on me, so I feel like I'm
Really?
That's the fucked around line. I feel like I'm warranted. And he was like, I don't know if you meant to send me into an anxiety spiral, but you did. And it was also after I had blocked him on all the things.
That's definitely what you meant to do, though, right?
I didn't mean to send him to an anxiety spiral. I honestly wasn't thinking really about him. I was more thinking about the fact that he cheated on me. But I should have responded and said, I don't know if it was your plan to send me into an anxiety spiral when you cheated on my ass.
How'd you
But
find
you
out?
did.
How'd you find out he cheated on you?
He actually told me after we broke up.
You want an honest man.
Yeah, I don't want that honest man.
We love a man who shows honesty months later.
Yeah, too little, too late, my guy. He and I started talking again. He was trying to weasel his way back in, and I was like, yeah, like, okay, I have a question for you because I was suspect about it in our relationship, and you need to be totally honest with me if you feel like there's going to be a chance for us. He was like, okay, and I was like, did you cheat on me with insert this person here? And he was like, yeah, I did. And I was like, cool. And I definitely did not give him another chance.
Yeah. Good move.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you in a happy relationship now?
Are you in a happy relationship now?
No. It's a fucking stupid question.
I'm just curious. I don't know. Are you, Dan?
Of course.
He
who?
has a girlfriend.
No way. Are you serious?
Apparently, Dan has a girlfriend.
No comment.
Dan has a girlfriend.
Back at ya.
Got me there.
I got all the comments. I am so alone that I would literally take anybody who looks at me for more than 40
I
seconds.
don't think
I
that's
could find some people. They might look at you for more than 5 seconds. Maybe the exes that I name drop, they're so scarred, they'll come back.
I had a crush on one of the exes you mentioned.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my
Which
God.
one?
Zach. One time when I first met him, I was like, oh, not a bad looking guy.
Would you date another Zach?
Zach
you know
and
what?
Zach?
Actually, so
Wait, how do you know it was the same Zach? You don't know.
No, I do. I've been forging a relationship online for like a year, like via video chat or whatever, with a kid named Zach.
Okay.
And it's like kind of hot and romantic.
But in bed, if you're like, yeah, Zach.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're stunning.
I mean, think about it.
And they want to meet. They're coming to America and they like want to hang out for the first time. And I'm
Are
like,
you sure
oh,
you're not
shit.
being catfished?
No, I swear. We video chat all the time.
Yeah, but you've seen catfish. They can fake video chats too.
Can they really?
Yeah,
Deep fake.
totally.
Well, this is they're taking something
Did you meet
deep.
them on an app?
No.
Should we do some investigation?
You know, I think they went viral on TikTok randomly. I was like, oh, this person's good looking. I'm going to go look at their Instagram.
Clout chaser. Just kidding.
And I liked one of their photos, and then they followed me back and started DMing me.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
How they spell their name?
And now they're like a famous model. I see people
My
like
God.
posting on Instagram like photos of their wallpaper, and it's this kid's body.
See, this is why I think it is a catfish.
Yeah.
No,
It's
not,
a
I
stock
swear.
photo on Google.
Type in hot gay man, and it's like him.
And everyone's like, this is what I want in my background.
It's fucking Fabio. I'm dating Fabio, guys. I swear.
Oh my God.
No,
How they spell their name?
ZACK.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, so it's not the same.
So like Zach.
Did you
Zach.
know one time your dad misspelled your name?
Oh yeah, probably.
I was just letting you know.
Yeah, it's bad.
I don't know why I felt the need to say that.
By the way,
It was a
Maggie
screenshot you posted.
and I became friends
Yeah.
after she came to the studio that one day.
Yeah, we did. But then I met your sister and I was like, that's my friend.
Yeah, way better than me.
Actually, the funny story of that is that you posted something that was like picking up tampons for my sister on your Instagram. I'm the best brother ever. And I was like, okay, this is a badass bitch to be able to put up with her brother posting her personal info. So it was during the time where like you follow each other on Instagram and you're friends all of a sudden. And then that's what happened. And I was like, my brother would have done something like that. Let's be best friends.
Gee.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister's a good one. My sister lets me totally destroy your personal life for everyone else's gain.
Destroy hers? Yeah.
No,
yeah.
just discuss
She
it.
has for years.
I
It's really
know.
quite amazing.
It's fucking awesome. It's awesome. So kind of her.
We love her.
Listen to That's How You Make a Villain. It's waiting for your ears on Amazon Music. What are you feeling, Dan?
Tell me about Buzz Lightyear.
Ooh. Yeah, I saw a sign as I was driving that was for the movie Buzz Lightyear, and I was like, I'm gonna write a song called Buzz Lightyear. And then I wrote it about a really boring date that I went on, actually during COVID. It was awful.
You went on a date during COVID.
I did, masked up, and it was beer, and it was outside.
Wow.
Yeah. I was really trying. I was really lonely. But yeah, it was a really, really boring date. And I just was reflecting. This was like a year later that I wrote the song about it, because I was like, what could I do with the term Buzz Lightyear? And I was like, I want to date someone who's like intergalactic and just fucking cool and like on a mission and blah, blah, blah. Just, like over fantasizing about a dude. And then I was thinking, what's the opposite of that? And I thought of that guy that I want to date with. And yeah, and so I wrote about how I really just want anybody but him, but particularly Buzz Lightyear.
He's hot.
I know. The lyric is, I want a boy like Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah,
Getting bored of him would take like 9 light years.
Oh my God, is that when you say if you had the swag, then I'd say that's the kind of risk I can take because it was COVID and you would have dropped the mask and risked COVID for this man?
No, I would not do that. I would not drop the mask.
Is that, okay.
Also, like, how do you even know what each other looks like and you're looking at a mask?
That was the tricky part. It was like the top half of his face looked nice, but not enough to compensate for how boring it was.
Oh.
Sorry to say. Sorry to this man.
It took me so long to even meet another person post-COVID. To go on a date in the middle of it, that's crazy.
I know. There's another one, the one that I actually name dropped in that song, Nick. I'm just going to call it like it is, because this one I have roasted for filth. Actually, literally when I'm waiting to go on stage, you can slowly hear like a crowd chanting, fuck Nick, fuck Nick. Like my fans are like really into it.
What did he do?
What?
What did he do?
Well, I was just thinking about the COVID experience, and he just like led me on, like the song says, for like, he was like, we're going to be together. He didn't live here. And so I was like, okay, this is going to be like a long distance like romance. And he led me on and on and on and on. And then, we had a lovely evening. And then the next day he called me over and was like, yeah, I'm going to end things. And I was like, wow, you really had to wait till after the lovely evening, huh?
Wait, so you're long distance, you meet each other for the first time, and then the next day he breaks up with you?
After,
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was like, I just need physical contact in order to be in a relationship all the time. And I was like, okay. Well, we've been talking long distance for 3 months, but glad you figured that out now.
Oof.
Yeah, oof is right. I also wrote a song on my album called Dear Nick about that too.
Yeah, this guy got 2 songs.
Yeah.
Lucky
but he also like launched everything. So, hats off to him. Thank you for your help. I also wrote Bomb about him, and then that was the first song that went viral. So,
damn.
Yeah.
Shout out Nick.
Thank you, Nick. Listen to all those songs. They're waiting for you on Amazon Music.
Yeah.
All of Emlyn's catalog is there for you. Final thoughts, Daniel?
Yep, we're performing at a music festival.
Yes, I am.
Yes, we are.
You've really never been to a music festival before?
I went. Yes, the answer is yes, I have not, because I'm not counting this one time. The time that I went was like the Meadows in Queens, and I only went for a day, and I went to see Kanye, and it was that night that Kim was held up at gunpoint, so he walked off the stage in the middle. Oh. Really scary. And then I did not see the rest of the show, so I have not had a festival experience. But I was thinking about it the other day, and I realized that I think that the reason for that is because it's horribly humid, and I hate humidity. Hot and humid, and it's just like, that's just not my vibe, Mm-hmm. But this is going to be my vibe on stage. And I also tweeted the other day that if anybody happens to catch me bolting off stage at the very end of my show, it's because Ray is also playing that day, and she's my favorite. So it's like, sorry guys, gotta go.
She's
I'll be
such a
right.
gift.
Yeah, she's great.
So amazing.
Is
But
there
yeah.
anybody else on this bill that you're excited to maybe see or no?
Lots of people. There's amazing people on that bill. Are you guys going?
Where? What is it?
At Austin City Limits.
Oh yeah. No, I just didn't know which music festival.
Thank you
it
so
was.
much.
I was like, is it Outside
Dan,
Lands?
did you know it's Austin City Limits?
Yeah, I'm looking at the lineup right now.
I know Niall Horan's performing.
Oh, cool. I love Niall Horan.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I've never been to Austin.
go.
There is no way you go.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You're not gonna go.
What are you saying? I'm gonna go.
Okay.
We got invited to a wedding, Dan and I.
Yeah.
It's so weird to say that Dan and I got invited. Like we
Like
shared
together?
an
Are
invitation.
you
yeah.
each other's +1?
No, we're not a +1. Both of our names are on it. We don't get +1s. I read down the thing today.
Really?
Yeah, you can only go if your name is on the card.
Weddings are very romantic. Maybe it'll be an opportunity for you guys.
For Dan and I?
I don't know. You're each other's +1.
We're not a
He
+1. We're
wishes.
You
we're
guys are
in,
sounding very defensive right now.
You don't
I'm
deserve.
gonna sit out of this conversation too. The second one today.
No, we did get invited to a wedding.
I'm so excited to play Austin City Limits, though, genuinely.
I'm gonna
fuck your
drag him to
wedding.
Austin City Limits.
No. I actually am really excited, though, because after the last tour I was on, I was just going through photos and videos, and I was just like, I want to get back on stage now, immediately. If somebody came in this room right now and was like, I have an opportunity for you on stage, I'd be out the fucking door. I love it so much. I have realized that it is my absolute favorite part of being an artist, is playing.
But it's
shows.
expensive.
Yes, it is, especially as an independent artist.
Yeah, you have to pay everybody yourself.
Luckily, festivals, you do get paid, though.
Did the Ava Max fans know who you were? Or were you up there in front of people that were just like, who's
Well,
this lady?
I was only announced like 10 days before the tour, so it didn't even really give people time to look me up if they wanted to know. It was a last minute thing, which was truthfully a really good experience for me, because I got to see the difference between, I had just come off my own headlining tour, and I got to see the difference between walking onto a stage where your fans are diehards and know every single lyric, and it changed the way that I performed, because I go up on stage and I'm like, I have to convince these people that like they want to see me, basically, that this is worth their time. And usually openers can be kind of a toss-up. So my main goal was just like, how can I, in the first, few minutes, get people's attention and make them want to get excited and stay engaged and stuff. And it's a totally different show. Another big one that it is I had to practice breath control a little differently, because I get away with turning the mic on my fans to finish certain lyrics.
Yeah, but now,
And I can't do that at the Ava Max show,
Put
or
the
else
mic
there's
up.
nothing coming through.
Silence.
Yeah, exactly. So, although there were some people front row, the London show, like, they got as many tickets as they can. She sold out like every show too, so it was hard for any of my fans who even wanted to come to come. But it was fucking so incredible, and I was sick the whole tour, and I would never have it any other way.
if you can get through that,
Yeah,
What do you mean you wouldn't have
it's
it?
all a breeze.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I'd still have done the tour being sick.
Yeah,
I would have had it maybe not being sick, yes, but yeah.
Yeah, but once you do a tour like that sick, you can do anything.
Yeah, well, that is how I felt. I came back from tour and I was like, oh my God, like, I really am invincible. Like, I can do the show with food poisoning and IV. I have a fear of needles, and I got an IV, and I just like overcame like so many times. Eye infection, ear infection, cold, food poisoning, like
Jesus.
you name it. It was nonstop. So I was just like, fuck yeah, I can do this. And play in front of 5,000 people nonetheless, crazy.
It's pretty sick.
Crazy.
Pretty sick. That's how you make a villain waiting for your ears. Listen to it whenever you get a chance.
Yes. And also, it is the title track of my upcoming album.
Oh yeah, that's what I was promoting the album.
Oh, not the song. The song just came out.
Well, but like, is it set up where if I go to the album, I'll get all the songs that are already out?
If you pre-save the album, when the album comes out, you will get all the songs on the album.
Okay, just click the link in the description below, and you'll be directed to something to listen to.
Yeah. Pre-save the album.
Yeah, it's the only song out right now, according to this one streaming service.
Okay, got it. What else you got going on over there?
Oh, nothing else. I was just checking to see what you brought up.
Okay, got it. Anything else?
Nope.
Cool. Jesus. That's
I have a question. How are you guys doing?
We're fine.
Do people ask you that? Does anyone ever flip it on you guys?
Some people will flip and ask questions, but it's never how are you doing, because usually the answer's long-winded and sad.
That's
so
okay.
it's a fucking bummer. It's
Aw.
a deaf mood killer.
Well,
No,
I
I'm
have something that'll make you feel better. Listen
Money-
to my
money?
album. I'm just kidding.
Oh shit! I got excited.
I'm sorry. That's shitty. I'm sorry you're
I
not
thought you were
doing
gonna
well.
give us money.
I thought it was gonna be merch or something.
I'm barely making my own money, my guy. Independent artist. I don't know where you think I'm getting money from.
Yeah, like how do you make money?
Me?
Yeah, you don't, or do you?
No, I do. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing if I didn't make some amount of money.
It streams.
Yeah, it streams. You get like, we really need to work on the disparity for songwriting royalties. But I mean, the reason that labels make money, for example, is because you make money on the recording streaming. So even if you're not, there's like several pools of money. You get like songwriting royalties and you get like artist royalties. And that's the reason why labels make so much money, because you get paid a lot better when you own your masters, which they usually own your masters when you sign a record deal. So,
But you don't have one of those.
I do not, but that means that the money that I would have signed away to them, I take for myself.
Yeah, you
Although I
keep-
don't really live off of it. I just reinvest it back into everything.
That's
So
right, because you're a businesswoman.
I'm a businesswoman.
Every stream counts.
Yeah, so please stream my songs. I'm just kidding.
Do it. All available for you
Short
right
of
now.
begging.
Waiting on Amazon Music. Click away. You good?
Yeah, you good?
I'm great.
Thank you guys so much.
You good, Emlyn?
Yeah,
Sick. Thanks for hanging out.
thank you.
Emlyn, everybody.